Ezekiel chapter number 45, according to Hallelujah scriptures. And when you divide the land by lot into the inheritance offering, offer a contribution to Yahweh, a Kodesh portion of the land, in the length of 25,000 long and in width 10,000, this being Kadosh throughout its border all around. This is a square plot, is to be the Kadosh place 500 by 500 with 50 armor all around it for an open space. And from this measure you are to measure 25,000 long and 10,000 wide, and in it it's to be the Mikdash, the most Kodesh place. This is to be a Kodesh portion of the land belonging to the Kohenim, the attendants of the Mikdash, who drew near to serve Yahweh. It shall be a praise for the houses and Kadosh ground for the Mikdash, and 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width is for the Levites, the attendants of the house, for the possession 20 rooms, and give the city as a possession 5,000 wide and 25,000 long. Beside the contribution of the Kodesh portion, it belongs to the house of Israel. And the prince is to have a portion on one side of the other of the Kadosh contribution, and for the possession of the city and bordering of the Kadosh contribution to possess of the city, and of the west side westward, and the east in eastward, and the length of the alongside of the portions of the west borders of the east to the east border of the land of this is possession in Israel. My princes shall no longer oppress my people, and they shall give the land of the house of Israel according to their tribes. Thus says the Master Yahweh, and a few prisons in you of you put of Israel, put away violence and pondering, and do right ruling and righteousness, and stop the evictions of my people, declares Adon Yahweh. Have right scales and right ephah and right bath, and let the ephah of the bath be the same of measure, so that the bath contains 1/10 of the homer, of the 10th of ephah, of the 10th of a homer. Let the measure be according to the homer. And the shekel is 20 gerahs of the minor in 20 shekels, 25 shekels, 15 shekels. This is the contribution which you present. You shall give 1/60 of an ephah from the homer of wheat, 1/6 of an ephah from homer barley. And the law concerning oil and the bath offering of oil is 1/10 of the bath from coal, and on its a homer 10 baths, for 10 baths are homer, and 1 ram from a flock from 200, and from watered pastures of Israel for grain offerings, and for burnt offerings, and for peace offerings, to make atonement for them, declares the Master Yahweh. And all the people of the land are to give the contribution to the prince in Israel, and on the priest of all the burnt offerings and the grain offerings, of the drink offerings, of the festival, the new moons and the Sabbaths, in all the appointed times of the house of Israel. He is to prepare the sin offering and the grain offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings, and to make atonement for the house of Israel. Thus says the Master Yahweh, in the first month of the first of the month, you are to take a young bull and a perfect one, and shall cleanse the Mikdash, and the Kohen shall make some of the blood of the sin offering, and put it on the doorpost, and on the house of the four corners, on the ridge of the altar, on the post of the gate of the inner court, and the same of the 7th month. Anyone who makes a mistake or is foolish, and you shall make atonement for the house. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, you are to have the Pesach festival of the 7 days, and even bread is eaten. And on that day the prince shall prepare for himself for all the people of the land a bull for sin offering, and for 7 days of the festival he prepares a burnt offering to Yahweh, 7 bulls, 7 lambs, perfect ones, daily for 7 days, and a male goat daily for a sin offering. And he prepares a grain offering, 1 ephah for each bull, and 1 ephah for each lamb, together with him, and an oil of each ephah. In the 7th month, on the 15th day of the month, at the festival, he prepares like these 7 days, as the sin offering, as the burnt offerings, as for the grain offerings, and also as the oil. Ezekiel chapter number 46, according to Hallelujah scriptures, according to the way it has been arranged in order, according to the Tanakh. It says, thus says the Master Yahweh, the gate of the inner court facing the east is shut in the 6 days of work, but on the Sabbath it is open. And on the day of the new moon it is open, and the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of the gate from the outside, and he shall stand by the porch, and the Kohen shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and he shall bow himself at the threshold of the gate, and shall go out, but the gate is not shut until evening. And the people of the land shall also bow themselves at the entrance of this gate before Yahweh on the Sabbath, on the new moons, and the burnt offerings of the prince brings to Yahweh on the Sabbath day in 6 lambs, perfect ones, and lamb and a perfect one, and the grain offering is 1 ephah of a ram, and the grain offering of the lambs, and a gift of his hand, and a hin of oil, and of an ephah. And on the day of the new moon a young bull and a perfect one, 6 lambs and a lamb, they should be perfect. And he prepares a grain offering and an ephah for a bull, and an ephah for a ram, and for the lambs, and his hand attains, and a hin of oil of an ephah. And when the prince enters, he comes by the way of the porch of the gate, and he goes out the same way. And when the people of the land enter before Yahweh at the appointed times, whoever shall enter by the way of the north gate, and bow himself goes out by the way of the south gate, and whoever enters by the way of the south gate goes out by the way of the north gate, and he shall not return by the way of the gate through which he come, but goes out through the opposite one. And the old prince is to be in the midst, entering the Yahweh enter, and going out they go out. And in the festival, in the appointed times, in the grain offerings is an ephah of a bull, and an ephah for a lamb, and a ram for the gift of his hand, and a hin of oil for an ephah. When the prince makes us a spontaneous burnt offering, spontaneous peace offering to Yahweh, the gate of the facing east shall be opened for him, and he shall prepare for his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and as he did on the Sabbath day. And he shall go out after he goes out of the gate, and shall be shut, and made daily burnt offerings to Yahweh for a ram and year old, and a perfect one, preparing in morning by morning, and prepare of graining with its morning, and 6 an ephah of the third on the hin, and moisten the fire, fine flour, and grain offering to Yahweh continually everlasting rose, and prepare a lamb and a grain offering to the oil morning by morning, continue burnt offering. That says the Master Yahweh. When the prince gives a gift of some of his inheritance to any of his sons in belongings to his sons, it is a position by inheritance. And when he gives a gift for some to his inheritance to one of his servants, then it shall be to his till the year of release, then it shall be to the prince. Only the inheritance of his sons is theirs, and the prince does not take any of the people's inheritance by evicting them from their possession. He is to give his sons the inheritance from their own possession, so that none of my people are separated from his possession. And he brought me through the entrance of which at the side of the gate into the Kadosh rooms of the Kohanim facing the north. Look, there was a priest of the extreme rear toward the east. And he said to me, this is the place where the Kohanim cook the guilt offering, the guilt offering of sin offering, where they bake the grain offering as not to bring them out into the outer courtyard to Kadosh the people. And he brought me into the outer courtyard and made me pass along the 4 corners of the courtyard. And look, in every corner of the courtyard was another courtyard, and in the 4 corners of the courtyard were 40 covered, over 40 arm long and 30 wide. These 4 corners having one measure, and a row of building stones, and all around in them, and all around the 4 of them, and places of fire were made under the rows all around. And he said to me, these are the kitchens where the attendants of the house cook, and the slaughterings of the people. Hallelujah. Scriptures in the book of Ezekiel, chapter number 47. And he turned me back to the door of the house, and look, the water was flowing from under the threshold of the house toward the east, for the house faced east, and the water was flowing from under the right side in the house, from the south of the altar. And he led me out by the way of the north gate, and took me around on the side and the outer gate facing the east. And look, the water trickling out of the right side. And as the man went out to the east with the lane with the line in the hand, and he measured 1,000 armor, and he said to me, pass over into the water in the ankles. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over into the water to the knees. And he measured 1,000 and made me pass over the water to the loins. And he measured 1,000 stream and was unable to pass over, for the water had risen, water of swing and stream that is not passed over. And he said to me, Son of man, have you seen this? And he led me and brought me back to the bank of the stream. When I returned to them, along the bank of the stream were very many waters, were very many trees on the side of the other. And he said to me, these waters are flowing toward the eastern country, and to go down into Araba and enter sea, and being made to flow into the sea, and the waters shall be healed. And it shall be that every swarming creatures, wherever the stream goes, shall live, and there shall be a very many fish. For these waters shall go there, and they shall heal. And wherever the stream flows, all shall live. And it shall be that fishermen stand along it from El Gedi and to El Galean, being places for spreading their nets, for the fish is to be as they get of the same kind as the fish of the great sea, very many. Its swamps and marshes shall not be sealed. They shall be given over to the salt, and by the bank of the stream on both sides to grow all kinds of the trees used by food, for whose leaves are not wither, and fruit do not fail. They bear fruit every month, because their water flows in the Mikdash, and their fruit shall be for good, and their leaves for healing. Thus says the Master Yahweh, this is the border by which you inherit the land according to the 12 tribes of Israel, 2 portions for yourself, and for you shall inherit each one of the same as his brother. For I lifted my hand in an oath, and give it to your fathers in this land, and shall fall to you as your inheritance. And this is the border of the land of the north, the great of the sea, the way to Eroth, as the one goes to Sodek. Hamath Beroth, Siberian, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of the Hamath, Samath, and Hakitikon, which is the border of Hawaran. And the border shall be from the sea of Qatar and Nan, and also the border of Damascus on the north toward. The north is the border of the Hamath, this is the north side, and the east side is from between Haran and Damascus and Gilead and the land of Israel. They are then from the border of the eastern side of the sea, and you are to measure. This is the east side. And the south side toward Negev is from Tamar, from the waters of Meribah to Kadesh along the wadi of the great sea. This is the south side toward Negev, and the west side is the great sea from the border to the point opposite Hamath. This is the west side. And you shall divide this land among yourselves according to the tribes of Israel, and it shall be that you divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourselves and for the strangers who sojourn in your midst, who bear your children among you. And they shall be yours as a native born, the children of Israel with you. They have an inheritance in the midst of the tribes of Israel. And it shall be that in whatever tribe the stranger sojourns, there give him his inheritance, declares the Adon Yahweh. Ezekiel chapter number 48, according to our scriptures, and also the final chapter in the book of Ezekiel. And these are the names of the tribes from the north, and along the way to Heroth, and to the entrance of Hamath and Hasar and Ainan, the border of Damascus northward, by the side of the Hamath from its side, its west side, Dan one, and by the border of Dan from the east side to the west of Asherah one, and by the other border of Asherah of the east of side to the west, Naphtali one, and by the border of Naphtali from the east side to the west, Manasseh one, and by the border of Manasseh from the east side to the west, Ephraim one, and by the border of Ephraim from the east side of the west of Reuben one, and by the border of Reuben from the east side to the west, Yehudah one. And by the border of Yehudah from the east side to the west is the contribution of which you offer up to 25,000 in width and in length, the same as one the portions from the east side to the west, while the Mikdash in its midst, the contribution that you offer up to Yahweh is 25,000 in length and 10,000 in width, and of this is the Kodesh contribution of the Kohanim of the north, and 25,000, and of the west, of the west 10,000 in the width, on the east, of east 10,000 in the width, and on the south 25,000, and in the length, and the Mikdash of Yahweh shall be in its midst. For the Kohenim and for his sons Sadok, who are Kadosh, who are guarded my charge, who did not go astray when the children of Israel went astray, as the Levites went astray, so this contribution shall be to them from the contribution of the land, the most Kodesh priests, by the border of the Levites, and alongside the border of the Kohenim and the Levites, 25,000 in the length, 10,000 in the width, and its entire length is 25,000, and its width 10,000, and they do not sell any of it, nor exchange it, nor transfer this best part of the land, for it is Kodesh to Yahweh. And the 5,000 that is left facing the 25,000 is for the common use by the city for dwellings and open land, and the city shall be in its midst. And these are its measurements: by the north 4,500, and the south side 4,500, and the east 4,500, and for the west side 4,500. And for the open land of the city shall be to the north to 250, and to the south 250, and to the east 250, and to the west 250. And the rest of the land alongside the contribution, the Kodesh portion is 10,000 to the east, 10,000 to the west, and there shall be alongside to the contribution the Kodesh portion, and its increase shall be for food for the workers of the city, and the workers of the city from all the tribes of Israel shall till. The entire contribution is 25,000, 25,000 four square. You are to offer up the Kodesh contribution, the possession of the city, and the rest of the prince on one side, and on the other of the Kodesh contribution and of the possession of the city, facing 25,000 armor to the Kodesh contribution as far as the eastern border, and westward faced one 25,000 as far as the western border, alongside the portions in the prince, and the Kodesh contribution in Mikdash of the house of the house shall be in its midst. So the possession of the Levites and the possession of the city are in the midst of what belongs to the prince, between the border of Yehuda and the border of Yamin. It belongs to the prince. And as for the rest of the tribes, from the east side to the west side, Yamin one, and by the border of Yamin from the east side to the west side Shimon one, and by the border of Shimon from the east side to the west of side Issachar one, and to the border of Issachar from the east side to the west side Zebulun one, and to the border of Zebulun to the east side to the west side Gad one. And the border of Gad to the south, the toward, and the Negeb, the border shall be from Tamar and the waters of Meribah by Kadesh, along the wadi of the Great Sea. This is the land which you divide by lot as an inheritance among the tribes of Israel, and these are their portions, declares Adon Yahweh. And these are the exits of the city, the gates of the city according to the names of the tribes of Israel. On the north side, measuring 4,503 gates, and for the 3 gates northward, 1 gate of Reuben, 1 gate for Yehuda, 1 gate for Ravi, and on the other side 4,503 gates, 1 gate for Joseph, 1 gate for Benjamin, and 1 gate for Dan. And on the south side, measuring 4,503 gates, 1 gate for Shimon, and 1 gate for Issachar, and another gate for Zebulun. And on the west side 4,500, there are 3 gates. And on Gad, on gate for Asher, 1 gate for Naphtali, all around 18,000 armor. And the name of the city from that day is Yahweh Shammah, meaning Yahweh is there, believing that Yahweh is here with us. We have come to the end of the book of Ezekiel. All esteem to Yahweh, and also to you, all our viewers, from wherever you are, all around the world. We say thank you very much from Nairobi, Kenya. I've been your host, Hezron Evans, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for watching, and also be waiting for the next episode. We are going and entering into the book of Daniel as it is arranged in order according to the Tanakh. Remember, we are reading the Hallelujah scriptures. Thank you. Remember to subscribe in our Injili ya Milele ya Yahshua Messiah, and also as well as the Messianic Daval Show. Make sure to follow us on Facebook pages, the Victor Kiiru, and as well as the Messianic Daval Show Facebook pages, and also the main page, Yahweh Sacred Assembly. I've been your host, Hezron Evans. Let me say nice time and wonderful, and also thanks for you following. May Yahweh Baraki and Hallelujah, hallelujah.